Hi guys, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. And today's reading is going to be about your sun-like energy. So I got this inspiration from the fact that we are all a part of the universe. We all have those, components that created the universe, and each of these components are a part of the solar system we are a part of, right? And the planets or the luminaries as well. So I got inspired to do a reading about the luminaries, which are sun and the moon. So today's reading would be about the sun, and later on sometime in the future we'll do for the moon and probably even the other planets as well, and what qualities of that do you embody. So or how that energy plays out in your life. So we are going to look at those energies, but for today it's for the sun or the solar energy within you, and it may or may not have astrological implications. It's not necessarily focused on that, but yeah, so that's the interesting topic for the day, and I hope it's a fun adventure for us to go into. So thank you for joining me today, and we have three piles to choose from. The images will show up on your screen now. Take a few deep breaths and breathe out through your mouth as you focus on all of these images. Letting your awareness or your intuition guide you to whichever pile you are drawn to. You're more than welcome to choose one or more pile, and I will see you in your reading. Pile number one, if you chose the first image, this is your reading. The first image is actually a fond memory of a meetup with a friend, and it was a wintry day, essentially a winter morning, and we were having a cup of tea, both of us together, and I just found the sunlight entering through the window so pretty and so beautiful that I wanted to take that image. And I perceive that that energy is reflective of your solar energy in this reading as well, pile one. So I do perceive that as to be your energy being your solar energy being multiplied or nourished or magnified when it's in connection with others. So sun is actually a life-giving force also, right? So your life-giving force multiplies, or it gets amplified and more powerful when it's in connection with others, when it's having those fun bonding moments with other people, with other humans. And the card that I have in my hand right now is Violet, and it says create a balanced life. This card is representing what your innate or inherent solar energy or sun energy is like. And so with Violet, what I am receiving is create a balanced life, that you are quite intentional with how you put your energy out there, and it is very balanced, like your work-life balance, your connection with your personal um, not personal, but your personal connections, your professional connections have their own space. You have your boundaries clear, and you are very, like, your conversations must be really intelligent and very psychic. You might be actually quite psychic. I perceive that you may be very good at reading people's energy in some way, shape, or form, and holding space for them especially. And it's because the reading energy thing is coming also from the fact that you read very well when someone is not doing well, or if they require something. And so you have that patience, you hold that space for them, because it's reflective in the Three of Wands and Six of Cups here, which is how does this solar energy play out in your personal connections. And we have Three of Wands and Six of Cups. That's literally like it. Even with the imagery this way, it feels like this man is holding space for these two kids. Even though within these two kids, the one in yellow, is actually probably older or knows what they are doing, and so they're teaching it to the other child. And you definitely, your solar energy does have that impact on your personal connections. More than that, there's also, not more than that, additionally, with the Three of Wands, it's like that nurturing connections, caring for those around you is, it's so, like, how do I say this? It's not transactional for you, but you do realize that to develop a healthy connection, a connection that lasts for a long time, you need to hold space, you need to let things play out, and need to receive whatever comes your way with grace, without judgment. And your solar energy plays out like that. your life giving energy is actually life giving, especially towards personal connections. And I in general perceive that your energy is life giving to humans around you. And I'll tell you why in a second, because we do have card that does represent humanitarian traits, essentially. And how does your solar energy play out in your professional life? For that, we have Six of Swords and the Seven of Cups. You are very good at basically recognizing what is fake, what is true, and also recognizing, which people or conditions that are actually lurking in the background and they're dangerous for you. You're very good at recognizing that. So I was just messing, yeah, I was messing up the words. It's Mercury retrograde, so please be patient with me. But yeah, pile one, your solar energy, so your light is so bright, it's so penetrating is what I'm perceiving. Like your vision is very piercing, probably into the future or into a person's energy field, like I was mentioning in the beginning also. And so you are able to look beyond the mask that people have, you are able to look beyond the illusions that people create. And in that sense, you are a great mentor, you are a great guide, you are a great team leader or team player also in your workplace. You guide people to calmer waters, you know the way. You have that patience thing that's coming up again. You have the patience, you have the grit, you have the space, like you hold the space for the other person. And maybe even many people here with the Six of Swords and Seven of Cups, I perceive, you handle chaos and confusion with grace. You know how to lead people into calmer waters. And it's like you also are very good at helping them realize that challenges are, it's not difficult to overcome challenges when you have the right people around you, and that it's completely fine to face challenges because it gets you to a better place eventually in some way, shape, or form. And of course, I'm not trying to glorify unnecessary hurdles at all. It's just that you give that encouragement, you give that light to people where they feel confident enough to face whatever challenge comes their way. Now, how does this play out, or how does your solar energy play out in your personal connection with yourself? For that, we have the Star and the Knight of Wands. So that's where I was talking about the humanitarian energy with the Star card, because it's Aquarius energy. So it's like taking care of people is very natural for you, pile one, because you are not, it's not coming from a people pleasing place at all. I don't feel that way. It's something that's very inherent in you. It's a very natural thing for you to take care of people. In fact, it is very healing for you, is what I'm receiving. With the Knight of Wands, you are also, not you are also, but I feel like your sun energy, which gets its life or recharges when it's helping others, also gets its determination and inspiration from that same space of helping others. So you are, to want to be of service for others is something that really drives you and really drives your personal identity as well. With the Knight of Wands, it really inspires you to take actions and even take leaps of faith that are very scary, or sometimes too unpredictable. Like what could be too unpredictable, but really, you take that leap of faith into the unknown, which many wouldn't dare. But this is because your solar energy, inherent solar energy, is such that you do see, for you it is very rewarding, for your soul it's very rewarding to take care of others. And we do have Knight of Swords again, and wow, we have Seven Swords beneath that deck. So yeah, you want to help others move past a lot of stuff. It's with the Seven of Swords here, I'm getting both energies. Like you want to reduce their workload or load in some way, shape, or form, or you want to take pressure off of them. And this could be, even if it's not a lot of people at a larger scale, but this definitely could be people around you or people close to your heart. and cut through the BS and clear the way for your loved ones or whoever you care about, and help them find a very clear pathway to their target. The other one is you really clear up any fakes or any lies or cheats in their way, or you are very good at scanning the energy of those around you in terms of who is trustworthy and who is not, especially with the 7 of cups. So this might be a skill that is very helpful, or you actually use it in some way, shape or form at your workplace also. I mean, it did show up, but it's coming out quite strongly, so that might be the case. Now, looking at how is it overactive and how is it underactive. So for overactive, we have resignation, say goodbye to what you no longer need. So this card is telling me like your solar energy is a little hasty. I mean, fire is speedy in nature. That's just generally its nature. So I'm not just categorizing it for you. But with the resignation energy, and because we do have Knight of Wands, we have Knight of Swords, we have Knight of Swords coming out twice for you actually. But what I'm perceiving is you may leave behind things before they can bloom. You might leave something thinking that it's not working out, and you're just about to turn that corner, which will give you the desired result. But sometimes you might be hasty with your thoughts, thinking that or your actions. I do perceive that it could be after you mulling over something for a really long time and then you decide to do it. But sometimes I do perceive that that overactive energy might be coming in, where you could give even more time. I know that's something we most of us do not want to hear, but yeah, that's what's coming up. Yeah, like your solar energy could be overactive in terms of leaving behind things before it's time to leave them behind. And it's just how the cards play out beautifully, because we have how is it underactive. For that we have Wisteria, longevity, plan for and takes the dedicated path. I think that it really gels well with what how it was overactive, which is resignation, how you were leaving things behind. So with Wisteria in underactive, what I perceive is, even with the statement that it says plan for and take the dedicated path, be dedicated to the cause and why you chose that cause more than how the path is playing out. So that is going to help you a lot. You might, because you are naturally so giving and so interested in taking care of humans around you, it might exhaust you to stay the paths or stay the course for your own benefit, for your own targets. So I do perceive that charging up your solar energy, or your identity, your light, your fire within, your spirit within, to not to you can charge it up with reminding yourself of the cause, as to why you chose that cause, or why you chose that target, or how fun it is to achieve that, or how fun it would be to achieve that particular target, especially for you yourself. While number one, that's going to help you to stay the course even when it seems like nothing is working. And it's just such a yin and yang energy, yang energy, or opposites energy, and it's playing out beautifully, because bottom deck energy is temperance, find balance and be centered. So that's what you do not have to give up too quickly, and sometimes maybe you do not even have to be tenacious, because maybe your tenacity is getting invested in places where it doesn't need to get invested in, right? So you might be holding on to things that they do not need holding on to, and that energy can be channeled into the targets, into the aim or goals that you have for yourself, right? And your so the two cards that we have here is how can you use it for your highest good, this solar energy that you have. For that we have the Nine of Swords and the Three of Wands, which tells me you do not have to paralyze yourself or get into anxiety or sleepless nights should you choose to channel this solar energy in a patient manner for yourself as well. You hold that space, you are patient for others, but you need to hold that space for yourself as well. Pile number one, I perceive that when you do this thing, when you do, hold space for yourself, maybe you feel like, oh, okay, I'm not getting the desired result. You might go into that mindset, or that things are not playing out the way you want it to, at least at the speed that you want it to. So you might be quick to throw in the towel compared to when you would be doing the same thing but for somebody else. So in that comparison, I'm not saying that you give up easily in general, but you might in general hold more space for others than for yourself. And so in that sense, there is this energy coming through, this message coming through from the universe, where you need to be more patient and look up the horizon and look at your own solar energy, honor it, and look forward to it, right? And the last two cards here are representing an advice coming through from your highest self about this solar power. We have solar power. Wow, it's reminding me of the song Solar Power by Lord. And we have Knight of Voices and Knight of Emotions, which is Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So that is telling me that your higher self wants you to know you need to bring in a very alchemical, or symbiotic connection between your emotions and your thoughts. I do perceive for this pile you might be driven a lot, in the sense that your actions might be driven a lot through your emotions. And it does make sense, like in this card as well, the star card, and the way you are interested in taking care of other humans. And it does feel like it's very emotional in nature with the six of cups as well. There's a lot of there are two six energies with the six of cups and the six of swords. So harmony is something that's very important to you, probably. And in that sense, your higher self is also letting bring in harmony between your thoughts and your emotions as well, bring in a balance there as well, so as to make it work for your highest good, because it's very much possible. It is going to make you the true warrior that you really really are. So create a container or a space through your thoughts where your emotions can be looked at in a neutral way and not as something that could overwhelm you. And then use the information you get there or in those spaces to your highest good, and especially in your own personal journey. I feel that is a strong message coming through pile one. So, pile one, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you again for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi guys, if you chose the second image, this is your reading. And I remember that image, clicking, the intention behind clicking that image was that, I am not too sure if it was very evident in the image itself, but the sun rays were so strong coming through from the clouds, and it's just so brilliant because the inherent energy, your inherent solar energy for that, the card that we have is brilliance, and it says discover your sparkle, number 26. And that's how I felt about the image as well, and the way the sun was shining through from the clouds. It was just so strong. The rays were quite evident, at least to the naked eye, even if the phone couldn't capture that image that well. But it was really inspiring and quite, soothing as well. It's like the dawn after a really bad day, sorry, dusk basically, or a really bad ending, looking at something on the horizon that is hopeful after a really dark or confusing or a clouded time. And that's what I perceive you are like, pile number two. Your brilliance, your sparkle is such, your solar energy is such that it's a ray of hope for many people, I feel. Or you are just yourself, you are an energy that's walking sunshine, sort of like that. You I am getting all this energy of jazzing up things, or you have very jazzy energy. That's what I'm receiving. Like, you uplift people like no one's business. You are very encouraging, and even you may not even have to go and do it directly. It's just your energy is so uplifting, and so it may be bubbly, but it's definitely very uplifting, very empowering, is what I am perceiving. And the way this solar energy of yours or your sun like energy plays out in your personal connections, I mean, I haven't got this card in this deck for a really long time, and it's the well, and we literally have the sun card for you. So there, I was about to say directly, but yeah, we have the sun card for you showing up in your sun like energy, and that too in your personal connections. I mean, how does it get any better than this? Pile number two, you literally are a ray of hope, you are a light for many people in your life, especially personally. And I don't think you realize it. That's one thing that's coming through, especially with the well card, even though the meaning of the well is something different. But you might be somebody who is so genuinely invested in their own life and creating light in their own life, that your light is shining bright each and every day, or each and every time someone meets you who's close to you, and that light shines in their life as well. But you may not realize it because, like I said, it's very natural for you. It's not something that you have to force or something that you have to take an action on. And with the well card, the well card here in this deck is an extra in the major arcana of the tarot, which is the ethereal visions tarot. Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot. So the well card represents the place of birth where there is nourishing, nurturing creativity happening. So you are that energy for those around you. So you're both the energies, you sort of like you are a mother energy and you're a father figure as well. In terms of the sun energy, you shine that light where it is required, and you're mothering with the well energy here in terms of taking care of people, honing and throwing light on their creativity. Probably you help them look at aspects of them which they might undermine and not look at or not think of as strengths or capacities, but you really shine bright and you show that light to them. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles and Three of Wands showing up in how this plays out in your professional life. So, what I am receiving, especially with the Knight of Pentacles, is that you are someone who's trustworthy, someone who's steady. That is a strong energy that people like. That's how people in your work life perceive your solar energy as someone who is very determined, very stable. They know where they're going, they've got a good head on their shoulders. That's how people perceive it. And especially with the Three of Wands, it's like people have a trust on you in the sense that they will be okay with giving you their child to take care of. So someone or something that's precious to them, they know that you will take care of it on their behalf if if they ask you for help. That's the kind of energy I'm receiving with the Three of Wands here. You will look after things, you will be patient, you will look after whatever needs to be looked after. And even someone who can be trusted with a long term goal or a long term game is what I'm receiving. That's how people at your workplace receive your solar energy, your life force, or your life giving energy. Pile number two. And then we have, how does this energy play out in your personal connection with yourself? And we have such an interesting combo. Pile two, you are very interesting. We have the moon and the king of swords. We have both the luminaries showing up as to how your solar energy shows up in your life, which is, we do have the sun already and we now have the moon as well. And with the king of swords, I perceive that you're able to extend fairness and clarity of mind or a balanced view to the world because you have traversed your own subconscious mind, your own inner depths. Your solar energy is such that you recognize that life gets created from our deepest and deepest and deepest of thoughts, that or beliefs rather, and what we hold close to, or what things or thoughts we believe in, and that creates our reality. You're very clear about it, and that is why you're able to meet another person. I think I've heard this quote somewhere online, but it did make sense, and that it was, you can only meet a person as deep as you've met yourself. And I feel like that is very true for you. Pile number two, you keep on meeting and you've met a lot of depth within yourself, and so that is why you are able to hold a very fair lens. There's no clouding the vision, like your vision about people is not clouded by something that's like rose colored glasses. Like, it's not extremely positive, neither is it very negative. You have a very balanced approach because it's not just logical thinking, but your psychic awareness, your intuition is also quite strong because you have traversed the depths within you, and you're able to provide that space, that clarity, that fairness to others because of your personal connection with your own solar energy. That's how I want to trend it. So how is it overactive? With the bluebell card, gratitude, be thankful for what is good now. This, it's just telling me that you might be a go-getter, so you might not relax, pile number two. And I don't perceive there's an ungrateful energy here, honestly, but I perceive like the way it is overactive is because you're aware of so many things, you might be targeting a lot of things all together or all at once. And if that's not the case, even if bookmark or check mark something on your targets or your to-do list or your task list, you are not staying down or slowing down or calming yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor, enjoy the success that you've had, or enjoy the completion of that task. I feel like that's how this energy is overactive. Like I said, you are so, your energy is probably that jazz energy was coming up because of this, because you are very active, you are very interactive with others. I feel like something, you could be a person who learns something new and you immediately want to share it with people because you know that it's going to help them a lot. So it's not that you shouldn't do it. Take a breather, take a pause, enjoy that information for yourself as well. Like let it ground within you and then share it with people, right? So how is it underactive? For that we have stocks. It says slow down, the pace must abate before it's too late. So the underactive energy is quite in symphony or in symbiotic connection with this overactive energy, wherein there is definitely a requirement for you to enjoy your own brilliance and take time out to enjoy the skill set or the achievements or the targets you have achieved, or the skill sets that you have honed. Really giving yourself the credit and being enthusiastic about life, not just because you can be a light to others, which you inevitably are. Sorry, evidently are, you are evidently there, you are a light to others, but also recognizing how you are a light to your own self and being enthusiastic about your own, even the smallest of things, like just waking up in the morning. Although I do believe that you have that enthusiasm, but having that enthusiasm because it's your life too, because you are achieving things for yourself as well. You are taking care of your body, your being, your soul as well. I know I'm talking a lot about you, but this is what needs to be taken care of, especially in the way it's underactive. You don't slow down and smell the roses on your way, or smell the roses in the sense that smell the success that you've created for yourself, pile number two. And as to how can you use this energy for your highest self, we the both I will sorry both the cards that we have in some way shape or form talk about slowness, and again like slowness and taking notes or going within, which you do, but it's more so going within and coming up with something that you can immediately share with the world, which is a beautiful intention. But you need to realize that some things may be for just you to savor, or at least in the beginning for you to savor and enjoy and be enthusiastic about, and eventually in bits and pieces sharing it with people. Because we have three of wands and the hermit card as to how you can make this work for you even better. So with the three of wands and hermit, it tells me that utilizing your patience to go within and understanding your own wisdom, not just using your wisdom as a tool to talk to others or to create connections with others. Of course that's a part of it, but genuinely taking that time out to recognizing how it has helped you grow, what wisdom have you gained, how many lessons have you gone through, what drives you, what makes you wait, what helps you have this patience. Recognizing these things about yourself is going to help you bring that solar energy within you into more balance. And with the King of Pentacles, I perceive that it's going to help you a lot in your career, especially your business. And even if it's not career, but for you to trust yourself as a leader in something. And as the last card here, as an advice from your higher self, we have the Ace of Swords. I feel like, it's just showing up again in the sense that, are you using your own strength for yourself, for being honest with yourself, being honest with what inspires you, what drives you in life, what makes you happy to be alive, what is it that inspire, because we have Ace of Inspiration at the bottom of the deck and Ten of Pentacles beneath that, and the World card as well. So a lot of wealth is associated, I feel like, with this file, with their solar energy. And we do have Pentacles also showing up. So understanding that, are you being honest with your own, so I feel like you underestimate your strength, and that's what's coming up, that you need to be honest with how strong you are, how capable you are in creating a life that is absolutely abundant. And it is very much possible with things that you really like to do and you really enjoy, that lights up your soul. So it is possible, your higher self is definitely saying that, but are you being honest with yourself with this particular thing or not? Are you being honest with yourself in the sense that, have you given your own entire solar strength, power, or energy towards what actually inspires you or not? Taking that check in with yourself is very important. So, pile number two, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope we meet in the future videos. Thank you. Hi, pile number three. If you chose the third image, which was that of a mountain, this is your reading. So it's just that I was fascinated on it. I was on a trip and I was fascinated by the different textures that were showing up while moving along a mountain. Like, I was not walking. Of course, I was on a road in a car, and that vision was very interesting, where there were different layers of textures. And one was, of course, different layers within the mountain, and then there was the sky and the background stuff. And it was definitely giving me a very hard rocky vibe. It's literally the mountains, and was rocky as well, but definitely something that has had to go through a lot of changes and very tough energy, quite a lot of turmoil that that piece of land must have had gone through. That's the energy I was receiving, or just the energy within that image is such hardships, turmoil, a lot of going through a lot of contrasting events to reach where they are today. So reach that spot where it is today, that piece of land. And that's the energy I was receiving for you, as well as someone who is definitely a tough cookie. Not a tough cookie to crack, but someone who has a lot of resilience for sure. And the card that we have here, which shows us your inherent solar energy, your sun-like energy, for that we have the lavender, which says connect to body, mind, and soul, with number 44. I do perceive that because of all of these things that you must have gone through, especially in reference to the image and where I took it, which is the mountains, the value of peace and calmness, and becoming one with earth. So very grounding energy. You might have a lot of grounding energy, but you're definitely someone who has, your solar energy is such, or the action taking energy is oriented towards creating peace. You are definitely a harbinger. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but yep, that's the word I want to use. But you're definitely someone who brings peace in. You are a peacemaker, a peace provider. You are all for peace, and because you have had, it's the value you realize in peace and calmness, because you've gone through really atrocious or tough life situations. How your solar energy plays out in personal connections is, I feel there might be something that may not work for you in just one small way, because it's the theme is repeating in the entire reading. We had the Magician and the Ten of Wands, and that tells me that you will do come what may, or whatever it takes, especially with your willpower, to reduce the burden of those around you. And in fact, you might be the one who would carry that load for them. That's the energy I'm getting. You are somebody who essentially, your solar energy is around helping your close ones, especially clearing out their way, or lightening their load. And in that, I do perceive that sometimes you might take up their exhaustion, in the sense that you take up their load, so of course you get tired, or your energy does get drained. But it's just that you are a person who wants to be of service to those around them. And especially with the Magician card, like, what is the quickest way to find a solution, or what is an efficient solution with the resources we have? That's the kind of information or value you provide to your personal connections. And and definitely targeted towards lightening their load and helping them move past tough times. Tough times. And for example, if someone's trying to make ends meet and they're physically exhausted, you might bring them ideas as to how they can make ends meet in a better way, where it's not exhausting for them, and they can equally take time out for their family, or quality time out for themselves as well. That's the energy I'm receiving. And even with the Nine of Swords and Three of Pentacles showing up as how your solar energy plays out in your workplace, I perceive that you are someone who provides protection to people, or your work provides protection to people, especially in during their nightmares, or the times of tension or worry. And you are very dedicated to finding out or mapping out a path that could help them get out of that mindset. So some of you actually could be counselors. So your solar energy, or your sun-like energy, is literally that you are driven by genuinely wanting to figure out together with people itself. You might actually provide coaching or guidance in a very customized way, so you may not have one size fit all narrative, or motto at all. You definitely look at each and every case in with a lot of intention, with a lot of integrity and sincerity, and figure out a way to help them get out of their fears. And especially here with the number of people showing up, or even this ghost or spirits, so some of you might be clearing up their spiritual energy a lot. But more than that, I do perceive you help them get those voices out of their head, so, and help them have clarity and confidence within themselves in your workplace. So this definitely feels more like a client, and your connection with your client more than anything else. But if it's not the case, it definitely is you trying to figure out solutions for your fellow mates, for your teammates, for your colleagues, for your classmates, stuff like that. And now, how does this play out in your personal energy, or which is your connection with yourself? And interestingly enough, we have the Eight of Wands with Five of Pentacles. That tells me that you are very quick to recognize where you are abandoned, or where you feel abandoned. And I don't feel like you escape it, but the speed is representing, which with the Eight of Wands is representing, you are quick to recognize when your abandonment wound either gets triggered, or abandonment might occur in some way, shape, or form, in a connection or in a conversation, something like that. And you're quick to take care of yourself in such situations. That's your sun-like energy with yourself. That's absolutely beautiful and very unique, to be honest, with in comparison to all the piles. Like, you are very quick to recognize, maybe even in personal conversations you are having with others, or even with yourself, you're quick to recognize if that conversation, that belief, that thought, if it's coming from a place of abandonment issues or not. And if it is the case, you are also quick to nurture your inner child, to care for it, to nourish it. Wow, brilliant. Brilliant energy. Pile number three. And how is it overactive? With tube rose, it says desire. Be certain of where you place your passion. And with this, what I'm receiving is that you may put unnecessarily really high expectations on yourself, which exhausts you. And it's getting this is giving me like it is getting my focus more on to the magician and the 10 of wands. So I feel like that might be tied up with your overactive energy, like how you show up for others. So if you're showing up for others at the cost of your own well-being, so you need to be careful of, or you need to be certain of where you place your passion, right? You cannot serve anybody else before you have taken care of yourself, while number 3. So that is very important. And also, I was time and again getting reminded of the imagery also, that image that you choose, have you unnecessarily kept, like I was saying, unnecessarily kept higher expectations from yourself. And by higher expectations, I don't even mean that you are not capable of it. It's more so, are the targets that you have kept for yourself even yours, or are they being influenced by those around you in some way, shape, or form? And so you unnecessarily go through a lot of turmoil or a lot of challenges which may not need to happen for you or your specific journey. So that's where it's overactive, your solar energy. So you might be, channeling your solar energy, your sun, like your power, life giving energy in those directions unnecessarily. You are someone who wants peace, right? So what will be a peaceful pace, a peaceful life for you, or a peaceful target for you to achieve? That is something that you need to take care of, while number 3. And then we have status or statize. It says adaptation, change will be better than you think. And this is how it's underactive. So I feel like if you change your target, or if you choose about, quitting something and starting something new, or changing your um, strategy or something around those lines, or changing something you've been doing for a really long time, you might be a little underconfident in those choices or decisions, because you think that you may not be doing the right thing. But you need to pour more energy, your sun-like energy there, and recognize that change will be better than you think. So maybe you need to leave behind things before you actually do, because you might be tenacious to a fault, and not and it necessarily is not serving you in some way, shape, or form. And I do feel like this could be like career wise, where you might be overextending yourself, or giving yourself too much to go through and work on, rather than taking it slow or at a pace that works for you, or changing the strategy in a way where it works for you. And by changing, I mean, it is sort of showing up in these two cards here, which is how can you use it for your highest good. And that for that we have Four of Pentacles and the King of Wands. So interestingly enough, for you to be in your King of Wands energy, someone who's entrepreneurial, who's a leader, who's a creative leader, who talks and walks with people from every walk of life. That kind of a person, and for you to fully step into that energy with the Four of Pentacles, what I'm receiving is you need to see, maybe you need to create your targets in a way that are smaller packets to a bigger packet. You create smaller goals, smaller targets, which inevitably gets tied up to the bigger target that you have for yourself, pile number 3. So instead of taking on too much all at once, like the 10 of wands here, why not take small packets of your targets, and focus your energy there, let that momentum pick up, and then pick up another set of targets or goals, or choose in between all of these options as well, as to which you want to pursue further, and which has come to fruition or not, stuff like that. That's going to help you step into your power with the King of Wands. Why am I saying that, or why am I saying take care of how much how much of your energy is expended in these things? Because we have Nine of Cups in this deck as well, as to how you can use this energy for your highest good, and we have Nine of Cups literally as guidance from your higher self about this energy, or advice around this energy. What that tells me is you need to channel your solar energy in recognizing what brings you joy, and set your atmosphere, set the environment around you in that way, and then you will be clearly be able to achieve your targets, because we have the world at the bottom of the deck. You will be able to actualize or materialize for yourself what you really want to materialize, the position, or materialize the recognition, or materialize who you truly are into the world, and ground it, the more you tend to your joy, because we have Nine of Cups here. So defining what is true for you, recognizing what is true for you, especially in terms of what makes you happy, what makes you joyful, what is in your comfort zone, even for some of you, because I feel like you may go beyond your comfort zone in terms of helping others. So that's something you need to look at, because is it coming from people pleasing, right? Or is it genuinely what you want to do? Because if it's exhausting your energy and not energizing you, then that's something you need to, take care of and understand as to, is this what you truly want, or is this something that truly brings you joy? Because even your higher self is advising you that creating an environment or an atmosphere around you, or a situation energetically at least around you, where you will be joyous. It could be the littlest of things. It's probably the way you dress up, it's probably the way you, if you wear makeup, maybe it's makeup, or what you eat. And having bite size energy in everything, right? So, bite sized energy of everything that you enjoy together could be a very good recipe for a lot of joy, right? So, including small things in your day to day activities in bite-sized portions, which is coming from a place of joy for you, can create that environment of relaxation, of feeling at ease, at peace. Even if there are rocky terrains behind you, you will know how to move through it, right? It will not be a compromise on your well-being or your energy, so to speak. Pile number 3, so that is what your higher self wants to tell you about your, solar energy. Use pocket sized energies or pocket sized targets, and focus your solar energy into those pocket sized targets and even sources of joy for yourself. That's going to help you a lot. So pile number 3, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you again for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.